if you're teaching teenagers, this might be more appropriate for them because it's teenagers talking about the extraordinary things that they do. Brain Pop is for little kids. It's great. There's a lot of fun sort of anime types of cartoons that you can teach about topics or teach about English. We just were introduced to this, so that was edx.org. And then Khan Academy, they have more than math. They do have they have other topics, so you're welcome to use that. National Public Radio for more advanced students. I do a lot of search, we also call that NPR. I do a lot of searches for like current events, things that they would like, or music. There's a lot of really, really great, because the focus is on US culture, but the interesting parts, not just like Hollywood. Excuse me, there's not a lot of focus on Hollywood. It's more about the arts and things that are vastly more entertaining. Public broadcast system. So one thing to mention about this is you can download and play MP3s so that you could prepare ahead of time in class and then bring that to class for students for listening practice. Public broadcast system, PBS, is also great because they are for educators. Oftentimes they have lesson plans already done for you. They have everything done. Like sometimes they even have a syllabus for how you might teach a specific topic. They also have lots of videos that you can download for free about many different social issues and environmental issues. And then finally, you're probably familiar with Voice of America. They have, of course, special English, and there's a lot of different topics all over the place in terms of your content needs. So those would be some ideas for supplementing your classes now with this sort of material, because obviously none of us are going to start a Coursera course. Maybe not in the next year. I'll give you a year and a half, and then you can all have Coursera courses, right? You be the teacher?
I'm a student.
Oh, you just want to be the student. Okay. So one of the things that we haven't really talked about are the challenges. And one of the biggest challenge, I think, was hinted upon in terms of the volume of information that you're accessing every day. Even in a closed course of 30 students, online courses can be overwhelming at times, right? So when I was teaching at the University of Macau, we used online and face-to-face. And the amount of email and the amount of interaction we were consistently getting, it could be overwhelming. So for me, that was one of the biggest challenges with using this sort of medium. Luckily, one of the nice things was, with the questions, I could get a list and then address them in class, so the students really felt like, that I was fulfilling the needs that they had as students. So if they had a list of grammar questions or a list of whatever questions they would just send them to me, and I had a little spreadsheet of different questions that we would then go over with the whole class. So those are some of the challenges. What are challenges you foresee with online learning in your classroom and or for yourself as an individual taking online courses? And do you see any ways to overcome them?
Technical problems first of all.
Okay.
Downloading the material and uploading as well.
Okay, downloading and uploading material, sure. Especially if you have a slow internet connection, right? Or not enough bandwidth. Anything else? No problems, no challenges.
There can be a lot of problems with the students. They may not do some assignments because it's not obligatory to come to the classroom, and they can depending on their attitude to this course.
Very good.
So because it's mostly for individual work, so and the students should organize their work themselves by themselves. So it depends on each student, and some of them may not work properly.
Excellent. Yeah. That was one of the things that happened at our university, and the way that we dealt with it is that we made all quizzes that they did online, like those self-assessment, they were worth credit. So if you don't do the quiz, you don't get credit. If you don't get enough credit, you fail, and you have to take the course again. So that may have been like negative motivation, but it was motivation. So there are ways, like if you're actually teaching using a platform like this with your students, you would have to have reasons for them to complete the work, other than just learn for fun, enjoy, there has to be like, you have this amount of assignments, they're worth this many points, if you don't do it, you fail. But that's a very good observation, because it's exactly what happened to us the first time we tried it.
And is it ethical to teach with these courses?
Say more about that. That's very vague, isn't it?
No, I like the courses very much.
Yeah.
In finance, I wanted my students to be introduced to them. And can I use their lectures to show it to students?
If you have permission from the instructor,
I must ask
yes,
permission.
you must ask permission from the instructor. You can also email, because they're really, I just read the edX, their rules of conduct today. And one of the things that they do say is that they encourage, the whole point is to encourage learning. So if you were all signed up separately and together you went over as a group, it would probably be okay.
The same you will do starting from November.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because you'll all be signed up individually, but together we will go through it as a group. However, that being said, I do have permission from the instructor and from the people sponsoring the course, right? But I think in general, if you're using, you're not really allowed to use parts of the course for credit for your own course. This is even like if I were a Harvard student going to a Harvard University professor's class, I couldn't use that as part of my course credits for my Harvard degree, because this is separate. So if you were using this as supplemental and they were signed up as well and also using the course as supplemental, it would be fine to have a discussion and maybe show small parts, but I would still get permission. And most of them, I think, say okay. Most of it, because the whole point behind this is freedom of information. Yeah, that's a great question though.
So if you, for example, if you teach the language or something for specific purposes, you may need different courses, online courses. You can't focus just on one course. You have, as you say, as a supplementary course, you have to choose something from each course. So that may also be a
let
problem.
me make this clear. I'm not saying you go to Coursera and you take from courses. That's not the objective. What I was just showing you was what a course looks like and how it is structured. What I mean by this slide is you go, you find the information, you set up a course that is all interlinked, where you have links to the information where the students click on the link, they follow it, they find whatever they need to find, they watch it, and then they make comments and stuff like that. This is not using Coursera to do the teaching for us, right? I want to make sure that's very, very clear. This is about how we might structure a course similarly to the ones that we looked at today. Is that clear? Okay. All right. What was?
If we sign up to this course, how much homework do we have?
That totally depends on the professor. So in the social psychology, there was no homework. It was just pay attention to the lectures, do the reading, but there was a lot of reading. I would say I put in like 5 to 6 hours every time I did one of the weeks. But in the accountable talk, you saw that was 7 minutes. You could easily buzz through all of that information, I think, in almost no time. I would say that would probably be 1 to 2 hours per week worth of stuff, and including the quizzes and things. So it's course by course, depends. Did that answer it? More or less. And then you'll have like a final exam or final paper. The really cool thing was in the social psychology course, which I mentioned previously, they had to spend a day doing good things for other people, like 24 hours, like just taking everything that we learned and doing good things. It was like, I forgot what he said the name of it was. I think I may even have the slide on here. No, I don't. Okay, it's somewhere else. But anyway, that was enjoyable, and then you had to write up the experience, and then your peers graded the experience. So they didn't look at grammar or anything like that. They looked at how much of the principles behind positive social psychology did you integrate into your project. And then they voted on each other, and then as I said last week, they chose the winner, and that person got to go for free to California to see the Dalai Lama. So that's an example of an assignment. But that probably took a long time because I'm sure people were really, really thinking about what they were writing because they wanted to go see the Dalai Lama. Any other thoughts? No? Okay, well thanks for your participation. Please know there's still a Still Alice book on the shelf if you would like to participate in our book club next semester. Okay, that's no longer working. I think the battery's died. We do have a name group. It's called eConnect for Teachers of English, and it's in this region. Region defined by the American Embassy, but a lot of the embassy things that are like scholarships or competitions for students for prizes and stuff are frequently posted on that website. It can help you stay up to date about what's upcoming. Fulbright does not post on that, but everything else related to students and teachers, they do post on the e-NAME website. It's not fantastic, but you can get information, and that would be worth it. Do I need to make any other statements?
Maybe about Friday.
What's Friday?
Discussion club.
Discussion club on Friday at
4:30.
4:30, and we are going to be talking about creating a life that you would really like to love and how you